So what is up, guys? You got your boy Jet Stinger here today, and today we're back with some more reverse 1999 content. And today we are here to do the Mercuria showcase. I did ask in a poll in my community tab, what did you want to see first between the teams video or the poll? You guys did wanted to see the teams video as opposed to the showcase, which was completely fine. So now we're here with the other follow-up part of that video, which is going to be showcasing her off and using her in content, going over her kit and everything, so you guys do understand how she works. And let's get right into that video, and I hope you guys, as always, enjoy the content. Alright, so we are here with Mercuria. She is finally here, she's finally out, and she did come a little bit earlier than anticipated because we were expecting Jay first, but unfortunately, Blue Pac said, nah, we're gonna give you Mercuria first and you guys are gonna like it. And hey, it is what it is. I'm completely fine with it. It doesn't really change anything for me. I did have full plans to get them both, so it just means that I get one earlier than the other one, so that is that. But anyway, let's talk about what Mercuria does. Mercuria is a spirit focused support who focuses on crit rate buffing from her skill. She can also passively give critical damage and incantation might. So that is a really good assortment of buffs. Crit rate, crit damage is always a fantastic boon on any support, especially in the current state in the game. As I always say in these videos, crit damage is obviously king. So having a unit that can supplement critical rate and critical damage, and having that unique combination of both, it not being exclusive to someone like Vila, they also stack by the way, but having another unit that can buff crit rate, crit damage is always well welcomed in this game, so that's really good. And also Incantation Might is a big bonus because a lot of our strongest units really do like Incantation Might more than Ultimate. Prime example being Lucy, prime example being Windsong. You know, those are two units who much prefer Incantation Might bonuses as opposed to Ultimate Might bonuses because their ultimates don't attack, so to speak. So that is that. But anyway, that is what she does. We're going to break down her inheritances, her skills, cube choices, portraits, and of course resonance, and the unique resonant pattern that we'll talk about in this video. So let's talk about what she does. So inheritances. When entering the battle, she gains 8 stacks of cosmic energy for 2 rounds. After an ally casts either a 1 to 2 to 3 star incantation, she can gain up to 2, 3, or 4 stacks of cosmic energy to self for a maximum of 25 stacks. And her cosmic energy buff is the following. It is a special force field effect where it grants allies 2% damage dealt up for a maximum of 25 times. Each stack is timed individually, which is effectively a 50% damage dealt up at maximum, which is really nice. Also, for each ally with the natural affiliates, she can gain a Moxie +1 to self for a maximum of Moxie +3. So if you pair her with any star, spirit, mineral, or beast characters, she will be able to, not spirit, it's star, mineral, plant, and beast, my bad. But if you are pairing her with pretty much with the main 4, then you are going to be getting her Moxie +3. That's effectively really good because some of her best partners are of the natural affiliates type. So that is a really good way to accelerate some good Moxie to her. Her ultimate does play a big part of her kit. I will talk about that when we talk about the ultimate. So it is a really good thing that she's able to self-accelerate at the initial starter of the game, which is really nice. At Insight 2, she can gain attack +5%, and just attack. And her Insight 3. At the start of the round, if holding 9 or more stacks of cosmic energy, she can grant critical damage +30% to all allies for 1 round. Pretty good. If holding 16 or more stacks of cosmic energy, grants an additional 20% incantation might to all allies for 2 rounds, and at the end of the round, if all allies have casted, or if all allies, my bad, not all, if all allies have casted 2 or more rank 3 incantations for that round, gains Moxie +1 for self. Again, another good way to battery Moxie. Again, for that ultimate. That ultimate is going to play a really nice part in really tying up her kit together. I'll talk about that in just a moment, why it's such a big part of her kit. But yeah, inheritances overall are really good. Inside 1 is definitely something that we definitely are going to be focusing on for the most part of this video. So let's talk about her skills. So let's go about her skills. Her first one is going to be her attack skill, which is called Restless Souls. It is a 1 target attack that deals up to 400% mental damage to an enemy and recovers the users based off of 50% of attack. to the ally with the lowest HP, which is actually really nice. Her effectively having a little small heal for damage is actually pretty nice. For each 2 to 3 star incantation in the AP area, deals an additional 30 to 50% bonus of mental damage for a maximum of 250%. Well, I'm sure you know where I'm going with this, right? Ultimate. Anyway, her unique buff is called self-focusing. It is a mass buff that grants critical rate plus 30%. It's a 30%, well, up to 30% to all allies for 2 rounds. Gain 6 additional stacks of cosmic energy to self for 2 rounds. And then her ultimate is called Morning Star for the Night, which is a cool name. It is a mass attack that dispels 2 status up effects and 2 positive status effects on all enemies, and it deals 400% mental damage to all targets and grants rank up to all allies for 2 rounds. And rank up is her special effect. So basically, there has been some confusion about how rank up works. So think of rank up as effectively a worse Empower Incantation. Empower Incantation, as you know, ranks up a skill by either 1 or 2 stars, depending on its casting level, to basically give you a secondary tier of that skill, right? So you get the higher modifier, you get the potential bonuses, you get the, you get anything that would come with the initial casting of the 2 to 3 star of that skill, right? This one is not the case. So with rank up, you only get you effectively only get the star level. So that means if I am going to be using a rank, if I'm using a ranked up 2 of this card, I'm not going to be getting this 240% modifier. I'm not going to be getting that. I'm going to be still getting the initial 160% modifier because it's considered this as a 1-star cast, but it's being triggered as a 2-star incantation, if that makes sense. So this is a good and a bad thing. The good thing is that this one, of course, does help her inheritances a little bit better. This does help this particular inheritance a little bit better because if you have 2 stars, then that means all you need to do is cast a 2-star instead of a 3-star to trigger the initial Moxie +1 for her, which makes it a little bit better to work with. But again, it's not something that is consistent. It's not something that works every single time. Like it's I don't know why they didn't just make it like an AoE Empower Incantation, because if they did, then Merc would be in a much better place, I feel, because of everybody having better bonuses to give off of 2 to 3 star of their casting buffs. And the fact that it's only a 2-turn buff, effectively 1, because it starts right as you cast it, so maybe, I don't know, man. I don't really like that part of the ultimate too much. I get why it works, because obviously it works with her inheritances. It works with other characters too. Again, it works fantastically with Marcus, because remember, Marcus wants to cast higher level incantation, so she gains more moxie that way. So that's a thing why it works in particular, but it just doesn't work because you don't get the extra bonuses, which is unfortunate. So let's go ahead and let's talk about cube choices. Cube choices are fairly simple. It's either you want her own cube, which I still have not gotten to level 60. Don't worry, I'm on it. But it's either that or balance, please. I think those are the only 2 real options that you only really need to run. Both of them are pretty much her main BIS options. Both give ultimate might, which is great. Both give her better damage output. This one gives her more crit. This one gives also incantation and ultimate might. This one just straight up gives you straight up damage dealt up for up to 12%. So both of them are really good options for her if you really want to spec a card into her. And let's talk about her portraits. So I do think that Merc is probably one of the first characters that I would actually push to get portraits on. Now, where do I say you should stop at? If you're looking at this at the most freest option, go P1. That's it. Go P1. P1 is really good because it ties in very well with her ultimate, because this is effectively getting her a Moxie +1. So effectively speaking, right, instead of having to cast a quote-unquote 3-star incantation, you now only cast a quote-unquote 2-star incantation, which basically means all you need is just 1-star cards being empowered up by her ultimate. After the initial burst of her ultimate, which you should use first, then you just simply load up on 2-star or, well, 1-star quoted skills that's being boosted up by her rank up effect, and that's already Moxie +1 being handed back to her, which of course is going to be really good to cycle back the ultimate. This also frees her from running teammates like Marcus, like Anali and Six in a team together, because this then means that you don't necessarily have to run them anymore, because you don't need to have someone who can accelerate up to the 3-star level, which is really nice. So if you really want more comfortable use of Merc, then go P1, because it helps accelerate her to at least a decent enough position to where she's being comfortable and being usable in pretty much any team that you want to throw her in. But if you're looking for absolute meta defining dominant power, then go P5. P5 Mercuria actually gives you a ridiculous level of strength. So what she gives you is a effective 90% damage delta at maximum stacks, which is good God. And she gives you 50% crit rate and 30% incantation which is, I mean, god dang. And of course you have her own crit rate coming from her card, so that's another effectively 30% crit rate. Yeah, she gives you the goods. She is widely considered by the CN community as one of the most strongest supports at P5. But if you ask me personally, I don't really think it's directly necessary. I think the only thing you'd probably really use this for is for raid score flexing. But for general content like our already normal limbo, our roguelike, our UTTU, all of that, I think P1 is just enough. P1 is obviously enough. I did go P2 for mine because I did want the extra critical damage, because I do see myself using it on a lot of my units who are crit carries. Like again, Marcus, like again, Lucy, you know, general units that I did recommend the team build video for her. But the thing is that I still do think that it works out the way that it does. So it's still very much, it's still very good that if you want to go for the P5. Again, I'm not underestimating its power. It's incredibly strong, as I did mention earlier, but it's not necessary. I've seen people say that this is a necessity to make Mercuria good, and that is just not true. You need her just at P1 to make her good. At P0, she is still good, but she's a bit clunky, is what I'd say. I feel like P0 Merc is clunky. P1 smooths over that clunkiness and makes her more solid and makes her just an all-around good support. And then P5 makes her an absolute freight train. That's really just the best way I can kind of word it up there. But yeah. Also, resonances. So this is what I went on mine. I just went a simple attack crit build. This is what I'm running on mine. So this is what I have. I have not gone to resonance pattern just yet. I'm not sure if I will do resonance patterns for every 6-star I own, or is that going to be a thing I do every showcase. I might do it for maybe like my DPSs just to make them stronger maybe, but maybe, you know, even some supports, like I might do Kakania because I do want to have more HP, but we'll talk about that in a different video. But what should you go with? Should you go with eludication? Should you go with genuinity, if I'm saying that correctly? Should you go for stupefaction? I don't know if I'm saying that right at all. Or aspirational. Now, if you ask me, I do think that eludication is probably a really good one to actually get, because it gives her more ultimate might. It does give her a little bit more crit rate, crit damage. I do think that's actually more preferred for her, just to make her ultimate pop off a little bit more. If you want more standard damage, you can go aspirational, which is for just 12% and 12% crit rate, 18% critical damage. This is again only at resonance 10. If you're gonna take it to resonance 15, this actually makes this, I believe, I think it's like 24% crit rate. I think it's like 36 critical damage. I forget the direct amount numbers, which is absolutely insane. But I do think the main ones that you want to look out for is either eludication. I think eludication is better though, because again, ultimate might bonus, or of course, aspirational for just straight up more crit rate, more crit damage. It just makes the critical ability process of her a little bit better. If you're looking at her stat line, it's actually not that bad. If you actually were to go to crit damage build, you could get her close to like, I think what, 60% crit rate, and I think close to almost over 200% critical damage, which would make her damage, you know, a little bit more potent. I mean, she's already buffing crit rate, so that's already a good plus right there. And she's also buffing crit damage, so I mean, it's not a bad option, but anyway, but I've said what I said about Merc. I do think she is a really, really good support. Well, not really. I should say she's a good support. Good support. Let me calm down. She's a good support. She's solid, big clunky at P0, solid all around at P1, and again at P5. She is a fantastic support, strongest in the game. So anyway, let's take her over to some content and let's actually use her. I am actually going to be bumping her up to P1 in one of the showcases. I'm going to be doing it first at P0 just to kind of show her how she works at P0 and then show her again at P1. So that is how that's going to go. I don't know if I'll do P2. I might end up doing it just so you guys see a little bit extra damage there. But anyway, let's get right into it and let's see some showcase action. Alright, so we're here with what is, again, considered as the best team option for her. Again, Kakania can be sorted out for another support if you don't really need the survivability. I do actually need it this time around because actually this one hits pretty hard. So we're going to run Marcus, of course, Kakania. Marcus and Kakania is a dream pairing. Vila, of course, is going to help heal Kakania when needed. Of course, buff Marcus with more crit rate. By the way, as I said before, these two do stack, so that's going to be really good. Also, due to the ruling of this limbo stage specifically, you get Moxie +2 just for entering. So this is going to start off our Merc with full ultimate, which is really, really nice. So let's get right into it. As you can see, we already have full ultimate, right? Which is good. So we can go right with this. Now I always say if you're using Merc, always start with ult. If she gets ultimate whenever she gets it, do it first. Because that is going to proc the effects of the rank up immediately. You want to get as much opportunity to use her bonuses as best as you possibly can. So we're going to do this with Vila. We're going to buff up Marcus. And then we're going to do this. This is going to be effectively a 3-star cast. This won't give Mercuria any additional Moxie, actually. So actually, I won't even do it, actually. I won't do that just yet. Okay, nice. We got a Mercs buff, which is nice. Okay, there we go. So now we have 2 effective 3-stars, which means that we can give Mercuria a +1 Moxie, which is good. We will battery to... I mean, we could battery to Vila. I think battery to Vila is fine. We can cast both of these on Kakania, because Kakania is going to do a little bit of damage to us. And I guess Merc can also deal some damage too. So this will give us effectively, give us some extra damage there. So good hit. Good hit. 27k, dude. As you can see, she gets really strong, and as you can see, we're already back up to ultimate. See? You pretty much can loop. You can loop it if you really want her for Marcus. That's what makes it really good. And we are at maximum stacks of our buff too, so. Took a bit of damage there, but that is a-okay. So as you can see, our effect is now gone, so we no longer have access to the effect, but we can again just do this, get the effect right back moving. And if we want, we can actually trigger it again to give her an additional Moxie. If we heal with Vila and we pop Marcus as a card. But I do need to buff. And I do need to do this, of course. Actually, I don't even need to do that. Let's do Disco Ball. Let's do this to actually battery to Merc. So we can, of course, just get an additional Moxie in there. We'll rebuff her with her song. And we will attack. And This probably isn't that dangerous of a turn for Kakania, so maybe I don't need to heal. I'm thinking about healing, but I was like, do I really need to heal? Nah, I don't think we need to heal.
I am the waves in the ocean and the stars in the sky. Hot scale.
Doink. Ooh, 45k, Marcus. This is P0 Marcus, by the way. So she's hitting some really good numbers here. I mean, I know this is Vanish and everything, but still, that impressed me. So now we're already at 7 stacks of our buff. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 possible cast of 3-star skills. This is really going to give Mercuria a lot of moxie here. So let's do that. Let's do this. Let's do this. And let's heal Kakania for the safety of it. We might just kill her, actually. If she crits. Yep, she crit. And there we go. And I would have given her another moxie right there. So, again, really, really good battery there. So, not really anything super crazy, but she really did make Marcus hit like a truck, though. Marcus normally does not hit that hard. But anyway, we're going to come back and we're going to show her off at P1. So, P2. We're going to show her off at P2. So, let's go and let's do it. Alright, so we are now here with our Merc being at P2. As we said before, this is just really going to be just seeing how much harder we're going to let Marcus hit, because we're going to be giving her more access to more critical hits. So let's see what goes. So we can go ahead and do this. We can do this to, actually no, let's calm down. Let's do this. Let's buff. Let's buff, and let's Vila ult, and then we will just go from there. Now remember, I said you only need 2-star incantations now instead of the 3-star incantations. This is gonna give her some extra moxie, so because we did technically trigger the condition here. As you can see, that gained that moxie +1 right there. Dire lack of Merc cards, which is a little annoying. Kind of would have wanted more Merc cards here, so let me actually just reroll. I want one of her buff cards. There we go. Let's see. We can do this to Vila. We can do this to give Marcus or ult, and we could just splash off a little bit damage with Mercuria as well. Oh. Ooh. So we are at 25 stacks this time, so this should be our full bonus. We are back up to ultimate as we did before. Alright, so we can... Let me see. Did we give the crit buff? Did we give it? Yeah, we did. Nice. We got it right here. Critical and incantation. Nice. So, we need to song with Vila. Do this. Actually, no. Always do this first. Buff. We can throw the book at them, and then we can do this, and then we can get Kakania's ult. I don't know how close she is to maximum of her effect, but we'll have to see. There we go. See how much she does with that 50% crit damage boost. Yeah, basically just wiped up almost both of them after that little rotation. So as you can see, the difference is definitely there. The difference is definitely there. And then she should die by the healing. Yep. And that, see, it just gets a little bit better there because of the obvious higher strength power there. It was so much easier to stack up Moxie with Mercuria because we had 2-star incantations only being needed instead of just the one. So I hope you guys did enjoy the showcase. Hope you guys thought of Mercuria as a pretty cool unit. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.